Hi folks, how are you? It's the breathtaking one here, Spooky, and as you can see on the screen, as I do at the top of every show, just got my GoFundMe for me and my kids. Just want to shout people out that have donated or shared this out continuously already. It's been an absolute blessing, very, very grateful. And anybody that continues to donate or shares this out, we've got a long way to go. We've raised $460 so far. It's a big journey. You can also read about my story, the kids' story, everything we've been through, the hell and back. Of course, me almost losing my life last year. So it's been a tumultuous time, but again, I am very, very grateful. You can find the links if you want to share it out or if you do want to donate at the top of both myself and Trin's Twitter pages, or the app formerly known as Twitter, as we call it now. But yeah, just continue getting the noise heard, continue sharing around, and we're going to be getting started here shortly. Thank you, everybody. join, but if he joins, he'll join. All right. Welcome, all you wrestling fans, to the 14th episode of Pop-Up Powerbomb podcast. I'm your host, the breathtaking one, Spooky, and tonight, wrestling fans, we share our thoughts on Cody Rhodes' hinted new feud, as well as Jey Uso getting a major push. Paul's going to have a rant about Roman Reigns. The roster cuts, and boy, were there a few. We also throw our predictions out for this pay-per-view this week, AEW's WrestleDream, and more. I've got my drink. I hope you all got yours, or nice and some nice snacks. So, is everybody ready for story time with the breathtaking one and Paul, baby? Yeah, we've got some interesting topics to cover. Already seeing the chat, of course. The rockin' one, my girl Trinity, always in here each and every week supporting, of course. My brother from another, PK. I'm wondering if when he's going to start the Pineapple Pole chant in the chat.
Oh, no. Don't get him started.
No, good to see everybody. And, of course, all the lurkers as well that are here as well, I can see. Don't forget, of course, hit the like button, share this out. Tell your mama, tell your pa, and even your blind grandma, because she can still listen. Pop-Up Powerbomb is live. All right, Paul, how you been, brother? We've had about a week or two off here because I've been crooked, but how you been?
I've been doing good, playing Starfield and then playing what's it called here, Cyberpunk 2077, because the patch or the add-on just went live. The DLC Phantom Liberty just went live about an hour and a half ago.
Nice, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll be jumping into that too later on myself, as well as still continuing my journey. I'm still on my first playthrough of Starfield. I've tried to just stick to the main story, but then I'm getting distracted by side quests and stuff, man. Especially the Rangers ones, because I joined the Rangers, and they've got a few interesting little side quests.
Yes, they do. And you get a nice little ship at the end of that one, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's definitely been an adventure, and I'm just taking everything in. I noticed a few people, especially in our 4GQ chat. I think it's who is it? Charlie and Infinite are up to their multiple playthroughs.
Yeah. I'm on 3. One of them said they're like on 6 or something.
Yeah.
And each one is a little different. So yeah.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
I think it's really cool.
No, I like the fact that they got that. What do they call it? The New Game Plus. So by that time you can go through with a lot sort of upgraded, stronger character than what you obviously start with, and it's more exploring can begin. I think you've said it best. Like, it really kind of opens up once you've actually at least played through it the first time. So I'm excited for that. The other game I've been playing too is Mortal Kombat. I finished the story on that the other day, which was a fantastic story. I liked the actual story arc and how well it was written. Graphically, it was just astounding. Fatalities are just more brutal than where they've ever been. But yeah, it's a fantastic game for when people get a chance to pick that up.
PK, if you want to join us in the show, you can. Yeah.
He's sitting right here. He's going through the flyers. Hey, Timmy, what's good, brother? But no, let's get right into the topics, eh? So WWE. Well, this is like a two-pronged little topic. So WWE's hinted at a house show last weekend at Cody Rhodes' new feud, and last time we were talking about the direction that they were going to go in now, considering from all rumours and everything accounting for that he was meant to enter a feud with Bray Wyatt, and returning Bray Wyatt. God rest his soul, unfortunately. We lost him, so plans changed. And at a house show, Big Bad Omos attacked him. So it looks like that's possibly his next feud on his way to building back up to, obviously, we're all hoping for, to take on Roman Reigns. So that's very interesting in itself.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're kind of pushing him up against the Judgment Day as well.
Yeah. So he's kind of, I guess, in the middle of both feuds.
Right.
So it's interesting. I mean, at least it's given him something to do. But yeah, and I agree, PK, weak angle. I mean, I understand the Judgment Day stuff. That
Yeah.
kind of makes sense, and you could probably drag it out for a
Right.
little while. But Omos is like way out of left field.
Yeah.
It's just way out of left field. And I don't know how good of a match that's going to be if it indeed is going
Now,
to be.
Cody would have to carry almost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he would, brother. He would. And then, of course, all the backstage news I'm hearing is WWE higher-ups are extremely, overwhelmingly happy with the response to Jey Uso, especially since they've moved him over to Raw. And he's in line for a massive, massive push. What that entails and where that goes is up for debate.
Well, what's interesting to me, real quick, is Jey Uso's doing great as a face over there. He really is. And then his brother's actually not doing too bad, stepping into what he's doing over on the other side.
Yeah, and we were worried about that.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah, PK still got over the chat. They fired Riddle. We'll be getting to that. We'll be getting to that here soon, PK. Don't you worry, brother. MMA is showing, a few MMA promotions are showing strong interest in him, and that's where he originally came from anyway, so we'll pick that up soon. But no, I think Jey Uso, the reaction he's been getting has been tremendous. I knew he would get over as a babyface, and they all like waving their hands in the air with him when he comes out for the entrance, and it seems the fans are getting right behind him, and he's fantastic in the ring. We know he's definitely above his brother on the microphone. Like he's kind of got it all to instantaneously become that breakout star. That's what WWE is hoping. I think his brother will slowly come along himself. I've got a little bit less concerns now about Jimmy after what I've been seeing the last couple of weeks. But Jay is he's on that upward trajectory. And I believe, I think I said it last time we spoke about Jay, I believe at some point, and now this probably is probably a good indicator, he's going to be a world champion on Raw at some point, I think. The sky's really the limit for him. With Jimmy, as I said, I think a little bit more work has to be put in, but he'll get there slowly. I don't know if he'll ever get as big as a singles guy as Jay, but he'll definitely be a lot safer than what I initially thought he may be. I thought, he might get a bit lost, and we definitely know he doesn't have as big I guess you could say, as big a personality as his brother.
So I think they're working on that.
They are.
If you go by what we've seen the last couple of weeks, they're really trying to pull him out a little bit.
And having
probably I think one good thing about the absence of Roman Reigns, actually, I think, is that.
And I think him feuding at the moment with that while they've got John Cena, I think that's going to be beneficial, because John Cena, as we've seen many, many times, can bring out the best in a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
and he has no problem doing that, which is what makes him great,
Yeah. And I mean, PK, they've expressed that, the brothers, that they would want to have a match at WrestleMania. I'm intrigued, since they're both on separate brands, how they'll build up to that. Maybe, they both enter the Rumble, both take each other out of the Rumble, and they can build from there, I guess. But yeah, I think they will. I think they'll have their match at WrestleMania. I think that's definitely on the cards. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. As for Cody, I'd prefer to see him just feud with Finn and Damien, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
If he is going to have a match at a pay-per-view with Omos, it's just going to be a one-and-done match, and he'll carry him, and then, they'll have him go over Omos, and I guess, I don't know, that's another huge guy that he's getting a win over. I don't know if that's what they're looking at storyline-wise.
Yeah, the problem with putting him up against Omos is Omos has almost no mic ability.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of boring to watch that because there's no real build-up. You know, it's like all of a sudden you're just throwing him in a ring with Cody just because. I don't get it. You know,
No, I know, and it's, you know, it's just so random. That's why when I was reading the House report, I was like, that's so random. Like, where's that coming? I mean, obviously they need to do something with Omos too. I mean, he's been sort of quiet, and I'm actually surprised, to be quite honest, that he wasn't a part of the cuts. To be quite frank, both him and MVP, because they kind of. They're kind of both lost in the shuffle because now they're doing something with Bobby Lashley being the leader of a group with the Street Profits. It's like basically I know they're not calling them it, but the new version of the Hurt Business, I guess you could say. And I'm liking that too. I'm liking this edge to the Street Profits. You know, they've been baby faces the whole time since they've been with WWE, so it's something new. And teaming in with Bobby and, you know, making them dress in suits and act differently, act very heelish. It's just a new leaf for them, a new chapter, and kind of freshens them up as a tag team. And Montez eventually, I mean, he's another guy. I see big things as a solo career at some point too, as a singles run. Definitely, he's got the charisma. He can talk on that mic. He's got the ring ability. But whenever that happens, I do fear for you know, his tag partner, because his tag partner kind of relies on him to do all the mic work, kind of thing. So that'll be interesting in itself when it comes. But moving right along. Yeah, here you go, brother. You're centre stage here for this second topic. It's Paul's rant on Roman, everybody. So
okay.
I'm going to let him go.
where the hell is Roman, okay?
Where is he?
We haven't seen him since the last match he had, which was at the pay-per-view, and we're not going to see him till the end of November. What? Okay, I actually did some checking. Last year, he wrestled in 22 matches last year.
Right.
This year, he's wrestled so far in 9 matches.
Damn.
And at the end of November, that will be 10. And then who knows if he's going to do one after that going into next year. You know, he is an absentee champion. And I'm not the only one noticing, by the way, because Paul Heyman posted something and mentioned Roman, and everybody was like me going, where is this champion? Where is he? You know?
Yeah.
Nobody can acknowledge him if he's not there to be acknowledged.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, it's like, what is going... Because there's been no reports that he's been injured. There's been no reports of anything else going on. Just, he's not showing up. Not only is he not doing matches, he's not even showing up to do shows. So you've got Heyman there trying to carry the weight, holding his phone up to his mouth, acting like he's talking to Roman. But the way he's using it, Roman would be on speakerphone. You don't hear Roman, so you know he's just talking to himself. Call Roman Reigns. What? Stop it. You know, it's like I said, ever since the whole tribal council thing where, you know, he's supposed to supposedly, you know, he won the right to remain, you know, chief. Okay. Right. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, where is this guy? I mean, people are honestly asking Heyman. I mean, this is, you know, they've done the pressure where they said, we have a plan, we know what we're doing, you know, but they're stretching this out. Yeah, I think the only reason he's making this big record is because he's not anywhere. No, he's at home. Doing what? I don't know, but, you know. Yeah, I'm the champion. Okay, great. You know, yeah, are you going to actually put your belt up at any time before WrestleMania of next year? Who knows? Who knows if he's going to wrestle before WrestleMania of next year? You know, I don't get it. Even from a storytelling standpoint, since they're not giving a reason for his absence, it makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to have him be your champion and be this big face of the company, and be the tribal chief, have him there sometime in some fashion, even if he's not wrestling, just to show up would be nice.
Yeah.
Because right now you've got Uso running the show. So literally, the only two that talk are Uso and Paul.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and yeah, and Uso's just trying to make like he's all of a sudden got nuts. You know, and even Paul's kind of cowering to him. Even, you know,
Exactly.
Paul really is playing the coward quite well. And you've got Solo standing there looking like he has no idea what's going on. Or he's just angry all the time. I think he's more just angry all the time. Either that or he's got to take a shit all the time.
Resting bitch face.
Yeah, basically.
No, but you're not wrong.
No.
He hasn't shown up at all.
No, he hasn't been seen. He hasn't been seen since the last pay-per-view. I don't think. I'd have to check, but I don't think he's even been at a show.
Maybe.
That was a month ago.
What's their main pay-per-view that's coming up after NXT's?
The one I mentioned in my tweet is where is it?
It's not Payback, is it? Is it Payback?
No, it's
No.
got some weird name I'm not used to. Where'd my page go? I guess I got rid of that page. Hang on.
No, you're good. Maybe
let's see.
Maybe he shows up at that pay-per-view. You'd like to hope. At least shows his face.
Yeah.
Um.
Let's see. The heels got canceled. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Hang on. Yeah, it's Fastlane.
Oh, Fastlane.
According to
That's
this.
it. Yeah. And
no. that's in a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly.
But he's not wrestling that. According to what we've seen, he's not wrestling till November 20 something.
No, that's correct.
Either
correct.
November 12th or November 20th or November 21st.
It's and it's interesting with Fastlane because compared to the NXT show, they've done real piss poor, slow booking for that show. Like there is no hype or momentum for Fastlane whatsoever, considering we're only a few weeks away.
I never even see him mention it. They always talk about
they've got
or whatever.
They've only got. I was reading earlier. They've only got one confirmed match for the damn pay per view. I'm like, damn, what is going on here? Like they're usually so prepared. Maybe it's been because they've been. Since the actual deal is now official and Devon now, and they did all the cuts and stuff, maybe, and not just cuts to the roster, but cuts to the, in the office, maybe that's where all the focus has been, and they've kind of, because they're doing better build for NXT's No Mercy pay-per-view. They really are.
Right.
I just don't know how they've managed to let Fastlane slip under the radar because there's just no promotion of it at all.
No, I haven't even seen him mention it.
No,
I really haven't.
Only, as I said, only one match is confirmed for it so far, and that is it. So,
and I was looking at all the cuts they made. Everything were all, with the exception of Mustafa Ali, where he was the only active wrestler that they cut.
Yeah.
So it had to be about cost cutting and control, which makes sense. Basically, new company, we're merging, we're gonna reorganize a bunch of stuff. But yeah, they actually cut an active wrestler who was slated to go up for the championship next week. So
yeah, man. I mean, but
imagine how that probably went, because he probably found out via Twitter or one of his friends going, dude, according to what we're reading, WWE cut you. No, man, I'm going for the champion. No, really, dude, I think you've been cut. What the hell?
No, that's true. But no, I want to see more of Roman on TV. It doesn't even have to be every week, but like say twice a month at least would be nice.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't like in person, and he just did like what Rock's done a lot of times, it just does ends up on the Titantron, does a filming.
Yeah,
that's something in itself, because right now, even you'll agree with this, that whole storyline's taken a complete backseat to the Judgment Day. Now the Judgment Day have.
Oh, the Judgment Day are running all 3 shows. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously, they are all over the place.
They are. They're on NXT. They're on SmackDown. They're on Raw. Rhea's been MIA. Sorry for at least 2
I heard
weeks
she got injured though. I heard she got injured.
Yeah,
so.
She apparently got messed up by Nia Jax in that spot where Nia was on the ropes and jumped down, and then started to slap her in the. I thought that was a pretty funny spot though.
yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Roman, and God, I'd hope that he at least defends the title at least once. We know he's not going to lose it, but at least defend it once before the end of the year would be nice. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Well,
right
because
now.
look, it was the beginning of September that he wrestled last, or that he'd even been seen.
Yeah.
So September, October, the end of November, almost 3 months with no show.
Exactly. And the only good thing I will say, which again you'll probably agree with, is with him being away, it gives the other 3 boys a time to shine. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's given the non-Jey Uso.
Jimmy and
Jimmy
and the younger brother time to sort of shine. But and like you said,
and so I think that's why I said earlier. I think it's been actually good for Jimmy because Jimmy's kind of being put front and center. There.
He's been allowed to break out of the shell.
Yeah. He can't hide behind his brother or just stay quiet behind his brother, and he's not having to stay quiet behind
Roman.
Roman.
Right.
And so maybe they're setting him up to become the head of the bloodline. Who knows?
It'll be interesting because I mean, it's still not sort of known or confirmed whether he's back a part of the bloodline or he's sort of like on the outside, kind of still looking in but helping them. I don't know.
Well, more than not, it looks like he's being used by the bloodline.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like, well, Roman's not here, and we need a third body, or a second body, so here you are.
Yeah,
So.
And I mean, Paul's obviously, like you said, he talked to himself on the phone, but like getting directions and that. But I mean, I'll do like the little funny bits, like, but who gave that order? You can't do this without getting the approval.
Mm-hmm. And that's the part where Uso's saying, "Well, I'm doing it. It's done." And even Solo's like, "We're doing a match."
Okay. Yeah. Solo's got in on the act now too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so I find that part interesting because if they keep doing that when Roman does come back, he is going to have a power fight on his hands. Because it sounds like Solo just wants to do what Solo wants to do at this point,
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of been off on Roman since the last time we seen him on TV together, and they had the big stare down after Roman kind of accidentally hit him with the spear again. I think that was for the second or third time that it had happened, and he started going off in their native tongue, and that was funny. I was like, oh, here we go. We'd been waiting for the moment. So I think, Solo's just like, you know what? He ain't around. I just do what I want. Screw him, Jimmy's kind of, I think, swaying him a little bit too,
Okay, conspiracy theory time from me, okay? This is not based on anything I've read, but thinking about what's going on, the fact that we haven't seen Roman, and the deal is a done deal with, what's his name kind of taking over.
Yeah.
Maybe they're telling Paul and Roman that you guys are no longer in charge of your story.
Yeah. That's true.
And so Roman's kind of, doing his, well, if I'm not in charge, I'm not going to show up there,
Yeah, I mean, that's a good conspiracy theory, considering that, apart from all these cuts, which we're going to get into here in a second, there's been a lot of changes that have been made and coming into place since Endeavour took over. Maybe Endeavour didn't like the idea of having a wrestler have the power that they were kind of wielding, and same with Paul. Which we know they were kind of controlling where the storyline went. So it's interesting. I mean, Vince is sort of completely out of the picture. right now, and that's kind of been made obvious by one of the people that got cut, Rick Boogs, who said the minute Vince was kind of out of the picture, his character sort of went, kaput. So Vince obviously had a high thing for him as a comedic character, but
right.
This tailors into this third topic, which has been making the rounds, right? So let's just go down the list of the roster cuts that
the
were
next
made.
20 minutes of the show will be the list.
Yeah. So you've got some big names, right? So you got Matt Riddle, Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Shelton Benjamin, Mustafa Ali, Emma and her boyfriend Riddick Moss, Aaliyah, Top Dollar. Now that was interesting that he got let go, but the other two of that faction kept their jobs. Rick Boogs, Mason Mansour, Dana Brooke, Dubba Kato from NXT, Shanky, Ikemen Jiro, Mr. Jacket Man, Yalissa Leon, Quincy Elliott, Bryson Montana, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Daniel MacArthur, Alexis Gray, Brooklyn Barlow, and Abdul Abadi Fitzgerald. And with those last names that people probably don't recognise, they were a lot of, I think the last 8 that I just mentioned then were performance centre people that hadn't, I think they may have shown a face once or twice on NXT, but that's about it. So those last 8...
And a lot of them, they could have been dark match people that they were thrown in there,
So from Yalissa Leon down to Abul, that kind of made sense to me. Ikemen Jiro kind of made sense to get cut because he hasn't been really used since he was tagged up with a guy that's now wrestling in Impact Wrestling, and they came out with both their jackets and Jacket Time they called themselves. So he hasn't been used. Shanky I haven't seen since he was helping out Jinder, and that's been over 12 months at least. Dubba Kato was a little bit of a surprise because, as we know, he was initially when what's his name? He was the bodyguard for oh man, I'm spacing on the dude's name. He was in NXT, went back down to NXT, and then he's come back up. He's like short, but he's well built. I'm spaced on his name, but they were building him anyway. When they changed his character over to Dubba Kato, they were building him back up. Hey, what's good, Yobi? What's good, brother? And so I was kind of interested as to why he got cut, considering I thought they were doing a slow build with him. So he was a little bit of a surprise. Dana Brooke doesn't surprise me. I know she'd been in the storylines and she was helping that chick on NXT. But apart from that, she wasn't really doing too much. Mason Mansour haven't been doing anything since they broke up the male models. Rick Boogs, he'd been seen here and there on TV when he was doing the thing with Elias, but then that stopped, and then we haven't seen him.
I was going to say, we haven't seen Boogs for about a year.
No, I seen him about 6 months ago. He was doing something with Elias, and he came out and he was in a few, tag team matches, I guess. But then nothing. Aaliyah, I haven't seen her in about a year. Emma and Riddick Moss, they weren't really doing anything with. Elias, I mean, since they changed him back from, pretending to be his brother, they were sort of all over the place, no direction whatsoever. So, again, kind of made sense. Shelton Benjamin, the only reason I thought that was a bad cut, in my opinion, is, look, you might not have had any use for him on TV and stuff like that, but because of his veteran status and his wrestling ability, I would have kept him on as a teacher at the Performance Center if he was at least interested. But that is what it is. Top Dollar, I mean, thank God, because the guy can't wrestle, but it was just interesting, as I said, that they kept the other 2 members of Hit Row who really can't wrestle or talk on a microphone either, but they get rid of him. I was like, why not just get rid of the whole damn three of them? But anyway, he is, bro. Shelton is a legend. That's why I mean, like, they might not have had anything for him on television, stuff like that, but I mean, he could have still made a good wage being a coach at the performance, and that's what I would have, seen if he was at least interested. If he wasn't interested, obviously, let him go, but, I would have at least looked into that. Dolph Ziggler, man, I have to agree with I think it's Booker T that made the comments. I think it's about time he got cut. He hasn't progressed with the times. Like, his character has not changed in his whole time.
No, been the same character all along.
Right.
And he was never that fun to watch for me.
Vince also never ever viewed him as a main eventer. Hence, when he did get the world title those couple of times, it was like extremely short runs. I'm not taking anything away from the guy. Though, when it comes to talent in the ring, I think he's talented in the ring. I just don't think he's great on the microphone. And
his character wasn't that interesting.
No, his character. Initially, it was working when he first debuted. The whole playing the heel, the cocky heel, slick back hair. He was like a young Shawn Michaels-esque at the time, and it worked for a while. But like other wrestlers evolve over time with their characters or change up their going. Look at Seth's evolution from when he first debuted on NXT, the original NXT, and the changes that he's made over the years. Finn Balor's even made some changes over the years to maybe to a lesser degree, but he's made the changes and he's evolved as the times have moved on. And Dolph just didn't. I think he'll get picked up by AEW. His brother's over there. Because at the end,
I was going to mention that a lot of these people may give AEW a chance to bolster their roster.
I think. Yeah. Well, Mark Henry said Dolph Ziggler would be at the top of his list, followed by Elias. He definitely thinks they will. I think they will also take on Mustafa Ali. Now, that was the biggest shock for me in reality because he was in a feud with Dom. I thought he was doing really well on NXT.
And like I said, he's the only truly active wrestler that they cut. Which was why it was really weird. He was currently in the middle.
And as I said, like, he may not have sort of got anywhere or got where he probably could have or should have been on the main roster, but when they put him down in NXT, he was shining. And I thought, here we go, he's found his spot. And because he's still got age on his side, he's not exactly an older guy, he could have had a real good run in NXT. You mean, he could have beat Dom. He could have had a good North American Championship run. The guy developed hell of a charisma and developed his mic skills since he came along really well in that regard. He can wrestle in the ring. He could easily put on a 4 or 5 star match with somebody. The guy, I didn't think deserved to get cut. Hey, what's good, brother Dredd? What's good, brother? He was. Yeah, true, Yobi, with Dolph. If he wants to continue to wrestle, he was happy working part-time. See, that's why AEW might work for him if he wants to, because he could do that part-time schedule over there, if that's what he wants to do. But yeah, no, Mustafa, that's probably the only one that disappointed me. Matt Riddle, I saw that coming for a long time because he's messed up, and I think he's burnt too many bridges backstage. Again, he's a great wrestler. No, not so good on the microphone. I don't think his character development, was going to take him much further either. I would have liked...
By the way, I'm going to be upset if they made room in the bank account so they could hire CM Punk. I'm going to be pissed off.
I would have liked... we can touch on that in a minute too. But I would have liked to seen them, keep him around just so... Because I was kind of hoping Randy would come back as big bad heel Randy. And, Riddle's thinking, oh, we were tired, we RK, bro. And then he RKO's Riddle and beats the crap out of him, So I would have loved to seen that, because I wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Riddle. Like, he was cool, he can wrestle. But personally, I think maybe his skill set, considering or where he actually came from, I think he may go back to MMA and give it another crack in MMA. It wouldn't come as a surprise. But what's your thoughts on all these cuts? Obviously, you agree that Mustafa Ali was probably the only one that probably didn't deserve to get cut, but everybody else seemed pretty much fair
Everybody
game.
else seemed, like I said, it seemed like it was strictly a pocketbook making decision.
Mm.
Either they're trying to cut back in general on expenditures, because if you're not seeing these people, they were probably still paying them something.
Yeah.
And like I said, they could be, and like I just said, another conspiracy thing. Maybe they're making room because maybe they do want to bring CM Punk back, and they're gonna, they want to pay him out of that money. I hope not. Personally, I hope, I don't think CM Punk's kind of learned that he's not all that anymore. But it does seem like a management. It seems like a management decision, kind of like the same way that what's his name when he took over Discovery Warner made all the cuts he made. It was strictly a pocketbook. It's a business thing.
Yeah.
It's not being run. It's not at that point. It's not being run by real fans. It's being run by people who look at the bottom line.
No, exactly. And I think, look, I think, I think they're just cutting dead weight, excluding, as I said, Mustafa Ali. I think the rest of them, they were just cutting dead weight. They had no use for some of these people. Some of the lesser known people that, as I said, were more performance center people, maybe they just weren't coming along as quick as they were hoping. So they were like, we're cutting you. We're not going to have anything for you. Look, I think, as I said, some of them I think will get picked up by AEW. As I said, I think Dolph.
They could be picked up by AEW. They could be picked up by New Japan. Some of the younger ones.
Impact Wrestling.
There's places they can go. There's places they can go.
Yeah. Look, as I said, I think Dolph is pretty much, in my opinion, a guarantee to go to AEW on a part-time schedule. His brother's over there. He's got a lot of friends over there.
Yeah. I was going to say, how old is Dolph? He's not old, but he's not young either.
No, he's about 37, 38, somewhere around that mark. But, I mean, he can still go in that ring. So, I think he is a definite for AEW. That I truly believe that's where he'll end up. Shelton Benjamin, I would like to see either AEW or New Japan. I think, his style would fit really well in either company. Elias, I'd love to see come across to AEW because at the end of the day, I just don't think he was really, truly given a chance to shine. I think the guy has talent there as a character. I think he's talented in the ring. He can talk on a microphone. Maybe
Dolph is 43. Holy crap!
Oh well, there you go. I was being generous there. But no, I think Mustafa Ali's got a good chance to show up in AEW as well, or possibly Impact. He might go over there and join the X division. Who knows? Because he's about that size and right for the division too. Because a lot of the guys in the X division, not all of them, but a lot of them are smaller guys. Emma could end up going back to Impact. She had a better run over there than she's ever had in WWE. Riddick Moss, I probably see also following her. They'll probably stick together since they are real life boyfriend and girlfriend. Top Dollar, I hope never gets hired again by another wrestling company.
Well, tell us what you really think there.
Dana Brooke, I'd like to see get picked up. Probably Impact Wrestling. I see picking her up. Rick Boogs might get picked up also by Impact Wrestling. He kind of fits in there. I don't know if he kind of would fit in AEW, considering AEW does wrestle a lot hardcore, harder style. I see Ikemen Jiro going back to New Japan. But yeah, apart from that, I don't know what will happen with the lesser known talent that was in the Performance Center. Anything's a possibility, but they're just going to need a bunch more training. And as I said, Matt Riddle, I actually see going back to MMA. So, hey, man, if he goes to Impact, it'd be interesting too. But I do see him. Yeah, it's because his brother's over in AEW and he's friends with all the elite and everything like that, Dolph Ziggler. So, I think Tony would be picking, technically, out of the whole list, he's the biggest name on the list, really, even though he wasn't being used or anything, but technically he is.
Right.
His name's bigger than Matt Riddle when it comes to wrestling. That is, in my opinion. Probably the only name I'd say would be in line with him, as I said, because he was having a phenomenal run in NXT, is Mustafa Ali. But Dolph being the vet that he is too, speaks volumes. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with them. Again, most of it was just dead weight cutting. But I have a thing too, like with you. I think maybe they were opening up some money because they're going to need it if they sign the man. And to sign CM Punk. I actually seen an interesting, I don't know if you've seen the same thing, an interesting rumour doing the rounds that Cody takes on Roman at the Royal Rumble and beats Roman at the Royal Rumble for the belt, right? Which therefore, with The Rock being the special guest referee and The Rock costing Roman, The Rock and Roman then start their feud leading into WrestleMania. No belt, nothing, right? It's just a strict Rock versus Roman for the tribal chief. Who's the tribal chief? Who's the true tribal chief? And Cody goes on to WrestleMania to defend the belt against CM Punk, a returning CM Punk.
I hope they don't give it back to CM Punk. I don't think he's earned it. I think he needs
I would hate to see him, especially because, look, if that ends up coming to, let's just hypothetically say, if that ends up coming to fruition, I hope they have Cody go over him. Only because I would be so pissed off for poor Cody, and I know you definitely would be, winning the belt in January just to drop the belt at the end of March. Like that, no, come on now. When he wins that belt, I want to see at least a 6-month run with the belt before he drops it.
Right. We know we probably will never see another 4-year run. No, at least not in my lifetime.
I think we'll get 6-month or even 12-month runs because they're still quite common. But I with him, I would at least want to see 6 months to do it justice, to make it me. I don't want to see no short run with the poor bastard, we gave you the belt, now we're taking it back. But no, stop that. And you're right. Like before he got fired or left WWE years ago, Yobi Punk, he put in that work and he more than earned his main event spot. But I just don't want to see him.
He did, but given all the drama that's gone around him lately, I think he needs to re-earn that spot. You don't just give it to him based on what he did before. You got to give it to him based on what he's done now.
I know if Josh was here, he'd be like doing the face palm because I know he does not like CM Punk and thinks he's a decrepit old man now. Well, look, he's not the same guy that he once was in the ring, and he was getting injured quite often in AEW. Could he still be a main event guy? Yeah, sure. Did he look probably in some of the best shape of his career this when he came back this second time around before the shit happened? Yeah, he did. And I commented on that. He looked a hell of a lot better than when he originally came into AEW, where he was basically coming in, not wrestling or doing really anything for quite some time, since his MMA career went south very quickly. So I'd like to see him. Look, I wouldn't be, not happy, and it wouldn't be, too bad to see him against Cody, because I think he could work with Cody. But I don't want to see him beat him, not straight off the bat. He's got to come back in and take a few licks first and earn his way back up there because, you're in your 40s now. They're trying to build younger stars over in the WWE. At the same time, he might not...
And to me, part of it has to show that he's willing to lose. He has to show that he's willing to be a leader in the locker room and not be a distraction.
Exactly. And I know he... Look, I'm not going to give this a given, but I think he'll be less of an issue in WWE than he was in AEW because he had sorted stuff out with two people that he still had, a bit of disdain towards, and they had disdain towards him in Triple H and The Miz. And if you remember when he was getting asked to leave from backstage, that's what he was there for. So now he's on good terms and he sorted stuff out with the two people that he needed to. I think it should be less of a problem. Plus, he understands that machine and how everything works anyway. Um, I'd like to think if he got it one last hurrah run at his age in the WWE, don't be stupid, man, because it could be your last chance for a big payday, and to, I don't know, leave a better vision and better taste in people's mouth on your legacy.
Yep.
You know, I don't think the way that it ended in AEW is a great way for him to end his legacy and end his wrestling. So there's two options for him, and the rumours are going rampant about both companies. He either ends up back at WWE or he ends up back in Impact Wrestling, because Impact Wrestling is very interesting to him. They've got the money to pay him as well because of the company that owns him. Someone like him, just because of the weight that he still carries name-wise, could put Impact Wrestling back on the map. Like if he went there, it really could. It would get more eyes back on them, which could help get them a bigger TV deal, which could help them grow to be kind of where they once were, and they were in bigger stadiums and what they're currently in. You know, he could definitely help with that. And I know he's got some friends over there as well. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. It'll be very, very interesting. Settled his beef with Hunter and Miz. That's right, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. As long as he keeps his attitude and everything in check, you know.
And I think part of that to me means he's got to be willing to let other people win. He's got to be, he's got to be willing to let.
And I just think that you know what I think the issue was in AEW, and look, you can say some of the fault's his, some of the fault's the Elite, some of the fault's is Tony. I think the egos all just butted heads, and Tony, for quite some time until, obviously he had the balls to fire somebody. He had to fire somebody. Just let it all go to shit there for ages. And, trying to put a Band-Aid over and just didn't work.
And then we didn't have a show last week, but I did think it was hilarious that of all people saying they could clean up the shit over there, it was Russo. Seriously, dude.
I know that.
I about died when I saw that tweet.
I laughed at that. I'm sitting there going, "What? The man that pretty much single-handedly killed WCW." Yeah, okay.
With these same issues, thinks he's going to go over to AEW and fix their shit. It's the same shit he broke last time.
No, exactly. You know what? If it was. And I know there's, he's done a lot of wrong, and he's who I'm about to mention too, but you'd have more chance of Bischoff being able to go over there and fix things, because at the end of the day, I believe Bischoff has learnt from the mistakes that he kind of made with WCW, even though he played a smaller part in it, because as I said, when it started going downhill, he was actually not even backstage. Like, he was away, he was taking a break, he was burnt out. We know that,
and I think Bischoff is more respected by the wrestlers. I think
he is, and we know he can deal with big personalities in that. That man runs his own business. He's got his own production company and stuff that thrives, that does well. So he could come over there and sort it out. And plus, he's worked for Vince too, and he would have learnt, a lot from Vince himself. So. I would trust Eric Bischoff more than I would trust Vince Russo.
But Bischoff has flat out said he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, man. He said, nope, wouldn't. I ain't not going there.
No, he's happy just doing what he's doing. He's happy just doing his podcast where
I think the term clown car came up. But,
yes, And I got a lot of time, a lot of respect for Eric. At the end of the day, like, he whooped Vince's ass, as his podcast name suggests, for 83 weeks, and nobody else has done that, and nobody probably will ever do that. If things played out a little bit differently, and you can't put this fully on Bischoff either, but if other executives there, including Ted Turner, didn't let the Hogans and the Nashes and that just run roughshod, the inmates running the asylum, things could have been differently, and WCW could still very much be in business. I think, as I said, what was the downward spiral. Was Bischoff actually taking a leave of absence? He look, he needed it. He was seriously burnt out. But I mean, look at his idea that he put together with the NWO and how big that was. That's what helped WCW thrive, and he was a part of the storylines and that. I mean, when he was actually there backstage, granted, as I said, there was a few things he probably looks back himself and goes, I should have done that differently. I shouldn't have given this person this much power, etc., etc. But the man had WCW on top. WCW was the talk of the wrestling world.
I'll tell you what, too. He was working his ass off. He was backstage. He was on stage. He was doing it all.
He actually even did wonders. It was Hogan that was destroying Impact Wrestling. Bischoff was actually doing wonders. Like, he was respected. He'd been out of the business for a while, so it was like a fresh thing for him. And he was trying to do the heel character again, which was kind of working. But, Hogan just wanted to put his face in front of everybody again, like Hogan does, and it messed it up. But Bischoff, as I said, he's got a lot of experience, and even when he was a GM in WWE, he was just an on-screen character. But there was a time too, he was writing for Raw. He was the writer for Raw, and Paul Heyman was the writer for SmackDown. And that's why at that point in time, Raw and SmackDown were really, really, really good, because those two guys can write some great stuff. Could you imagine if those two got together and started a company like that?
Holy crap!
Yeah, that would be. I think because they would have both learnt from past mistakes. Paul himself had admittedly made a lot of mistakes with ECW, as great and popular that was for its time too. But after learning all from their mistakes, those two guys, after working underneath Vince, just the knowledge that they've got, man. I'll put it this way: if those two were together and they were running the show at AEW would be neck and neck with WWE right now. Really would.
Oh, yeah.
It really would. And look, that's just why I wish Tony didn't sour his relationship with Bischoff, because he just would have been at least great to bring in an advisory role to for Bischoff to lend his ear to Tony, and
somebody you could talk to and go, hey, here's what's going on. How would you deal with this? Give me some ideas,
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that might be what he needs to do. Tony, to take away the EVP position away from the Elite, and just keep them as wrestlers. The only one I would keep there, though, because I think he does do good work in his position, is Kenny. I think Kenny, being an EVP, I mean, he did a lot of work and help with the game and getting the games division up and running. He's very well respected and makes sure, that all these young females and males coming through, get their shot. So I kind of think he's all right in his position. I just don't know about the others. Unlike... See, the Young Bucks have still got quite an ego. I mean, they've always had an ego, whereas Kenny hasn't. I think Kenny knows and understands how good he is, but he's never had an ego. He has no trouble putting people over. I actually think he's not too bad in his position. Because at the end of the day, he's not putting himself... He didn't really like... When they got him in the world title scene, they put the world title... He didn't really want it. There's another one like Cody. He didn't really want it. He wants to be there to help others and, help others break out. So he wasn't really too interested. Like, he was like, okay with, hey, you want to put me in the main event against the champ, that's fine, but I don't have any problem losing. I don't really want the belt. I think it's because, too, he was New Japan heavyweight champion for a while, too. So he's like, look, I've been world champion. Let someone else have a go,
And with the exception of Roman, being a world champion is a lot of work.
Yeah. So, no, and that's right. Look, they're now the Ring of Honor Trios champions now. They booked themselves for that, the Young Bucks, Yeah. So I think maybe take the EVPs off them, but I'd keep Kenny there. Kenny, I think's great for it because he's a great spokesperson for AEW. You know, as I said, he's done a lot. He's done a lot to help some of these younger talent. I mean, he's the one who's brought in like the Rios and stuff like that and helped them along. And you know, he can sort of, the wrestlers can come to him and then he can sort of, you know, push what they want to Tony and sort of get that, you know, some of their voices heard. Because Tony always sort of listened to Kenny, you know, he might not have other time for everybody else, but you know, it's I suppose great to have at least a wrestler up in that point, especially a wrestler, as I said, that's got no ego. So, but moving into the second last topic, which should kind of moves into the last topic as well. So Tony Khan has teased a new era is about to begin for AEW. So, in a freshly unveiled ad on Twitter and during the broadcast of AEW Collision, Tony announced that the upcoming AEW WrestleDream pay-per-view, which I think happens, is it this weekend? Yeah,
I was going to say, when
Sunday.
is that? Because this weekend is No Mercy, or so, yeah.
This coming Sunday. No, I think No Mercy's still another week away after this, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Am I a week off? What is this weekend?
I know WrestleDream is this
weekend. The WWE one, the WWE one or NXT one is this weekend, dude.
Oh, okay, there you go. It is this week. So
on the 30th. Yeah.
We will pay tribute to so at WrestleDream next Sunday, he said they'll pay tribute to the dreamer that made this all possible, the late great Antonio Inoki, with an event 1 year in the making. He said, you won't want to miss AEW WrestleDream as we will end a chapter in wrestling history and begin a new era in AEW. While the specifics of what Khan means by a new era remain unclear, there are many fan theories running around. So, Paul, what's yours? What do you think Tony's getting?
I have no idea because, I mean, he was probably... Because he knew he was going to have to do something as soon as he got rid of CM Punk. Because Collision was CM Punk staying, and now all of a sudden CM Punk's not there. Okay, right. You know. So now he had to have somebody. He had to have somebody else to run the show because you know he, like you've always said, he's not good at writing the story. He needs other people to do that stuff. So hopefully, I mean personally, I hope we're in for some good surprises. You know, that, hey, you know, I've got some, maybe he's hired some people back there that we're going to recognize their names and go, oh, God, thank God, you know. And not necessarily wrestlers, but writers and people to run the show and people to kind of, you know, direct the traffic, even if it's just on stage assistant GM, you know, like Bischoff was, you know,
right.
Or, and again, I'm going to bring this up, is it almost looks like they're using Cody's becoming the new Triple H. He's the guy on the ring going, I made this decision and this guy's back.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Because, you know, he hasn't been officially given a title as far as being management, but they're treating him as such in on camera. So I'm hoping that maybe that's a little bit of what he's going to do. He's going to start to develop the story side a little better than they have been.
Yeah.
Because he did have to move. He did have to move fast after he got rid of CM Punk.
Yeah, I mean, like,
so.
I'd like to see, you know, significant changes in a lot of areas being made. I think, you know, storytelling is right at the top of the list. Keep Danielson there. Danielson was getting praised when he was doing it in WWE. I'd be keeping him there in that position, but I'd like to hope that he's got or went and scoured the place to find other great writers, because I want to see that get better. I think the one storyline that they've done extremely well with is MJF's storyline. I even loved, I think it was on Dynamite or I think it was Dynamite last week. He did that similar thing that Bret Hart did back in the day with the kid with the advertisement. He's like, oh my gosh, MJF's and he turns around and walks
yeah.
back, doing the same thing that Brett did back in the day. I thought that was a nice touch. But yeah, like other things I'd like to see is, you know, I think he's really kind of got to up the production a bit more again, because it all still kind of still feels like a massive indie show. It's getting there. It's getting there on production, but I just think that needs touching up too. And you know, you want to present AEW as a premium company like WWE, but as again, it's getting there. Again, there's a few areas.
What's funny is he has the money to invest, but at the same time, I understand from a business standpoint, you've got to, you know, even though like the people are always saying with people saying, well, Microsoft has the money, yeah, but they've got to look at return on investment. You know, you just don't throw money after money because that's a waste of resources.
If it was up to me, for starters, right, I'd keep Collision on the Saturday. I'd keep Dynamite where it is. I would scrap Rampage. I don't think they really need Rampage. I think 2 shows is enough for them. And
I always forget about Rampage personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think they need it. And by cutting it, you cut down your costs there where you could spend in other areas, you know.
Yep.
So I think having just the 2 shows, which is basically that would be their versions of Raw and SmackDown, would be plenty. You know.
Now I'd be curious to see what's the viewership on the 3 shows. I know the Wednesday is the biggest show they have.
Yeah, and put it this way: both Dynamite and Collision do better numbers than Rampage. That's clear as day. Yeah. So
yeah, like I said, I always forget Rampage is there. I never remember.
See, Rampage was their second show before they came up with Collision. So I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying if they didn't make Collision. But I think Collision's good. It's a good time slot. It's on a great day. We hadn't had wrestling on a Saturday for a while, other than you know, pay-per-views on the odd occasion and that. But
yeah, we haven't had wrestling on a Saturday since like I think the 80s or the early 90s.
Yeah, when it was WCW Saturday night, right? So I think that was good. You know, and neither show, I mean, I think Dynamite goes up, does Dynamite go up against anything? Well, they kind of say that they compete with NXT even though they're on separate days, but...
because their NXT's on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And right now, especially because of the no new stuff dropping on TV because of the 2 strikes, which is one is over. WGA got their thing. All right,
I would like to see
that there's that they have no competition right now. Really, I mean they are the.
I was just going to say.
I was just going to say they're the only fresh thing on Wednesday nights right now.
They are. I would like to, at some point, see them move Dynamite to Tuesdays to compete against Raw.
I don't know if he ever would though, because they've got their audience on Wednesday.
They do. But if things improve in other areas, especially storyline wise, then yeah. Another thing I'd like to see them do is open up their own version of, you know, the Performance Center, or as WCW used to call it, the Power Plant. Just to, you know.
Why does Vince look drunk on your screen? What the?
No, but I think that would be good too, because you'd have somewhere to train the talent and stuff like that. I mean, I know there's quite a few of them that have come through the Nightmare Factory, but I think AEW needs their own thing.
So AEW doesn't have a training facility? That kind of surprised me. I thought they all kind of did.
No. A lot of them came through either Cody's school or came through the chairman's school. He runs a school with the guy from NXT who looked like Dolph Ziggler in WWE. He looks so much like Ziggler. I'm just spacing on his name. Tyler Breeze, right? So Tyler Breeze and the chairman, the Cody, one of Cody's best friends, the one who comes out, does the perfect 10.
Which I don't know why they don't, because I mean they're headquartered out of Jacksonville. They're headquartered out of the city I live in, which is down here in the South. Which is why they don't have a school down here. Why they don't have a training facility down here.
That's what they need.
No idea.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see. I know maybe Tony just said stuff like this because he wants to try and build WrestleDream. It is a new pay-per-view for them, but so it could be just all nothing. But yeah. I would like to see, some changes made where it is a new era. I don't know exactly what he means by that, but I'm quite sure we will find out in the coming weeks following the pay-per-view. And talking about the pay-per-view, which we'll talk about this one first, and then we can touch on No Mercy before we get on out of here. So, once again, AEW, they've got 9 matches on the card. They love these big cards.
Man, they never lack for matches. Holy crap,
they
every
love
time,
these big
man.
matches. One of the most exciting matches on this card I am looking forward to is Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. That is going to be a technical masterpiece. You've got 2 of the best, probably 1A, 1B technical wrestlers in the world today with these 2 guys. Hey, Pyro, what's good, brother? Thank you for the £1. I see you. That is going to... It has the potential to be the match of the night. It honestly does. That is going to be something to behold. If you like technical wrestling, those 2 are going to put on a heck of a show and twist each other into pretzels. You got Hangman against Swerve, which I like both the guys. I like Swerve a little bit more. I think Swerve's got main eventer written all over him, but this build has been really odd, to say the least. It hasn't been the greatest build, but I think the match itself will be a good match.
I'm going to say they should be a good match with those 2, but
it should be a good match. The tag team championship match between FTR and Aussie Open, I think, again, will be a great match. I think FTR will retain. But, yeah, I think, that'll just be what it is. It'll be another fantastic tag match because that's the one thing AEW does have on a lot of these other promotions. They do have some really great tag teams, and their tag team wrestling is probably some of the best in the business today. Then, of course, you've got the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships on the line, where you've got the Righteous taking on Better Than You, baby, Adam Cole and MJF. I think I see this match going one of 2 ways. I either see Adam and MJF retaining, or I see Roddy and the other 2 guys interfere and cost them. And maybe that starts to lead to Adam and MJF slowly, going their separate ways and that. Then you've got a good 6-man tag match, which I think's got a lot of talent in it. You've got Jericho and the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, versus the Don Callis family, which is Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and newly joined Sammy Guevara.
Wow, that's gonna be. Yeah.
That will be... I just don't want Don getting involved. Let these 6, just wrestle their little hearts out. But it's going to be an awesome match. The 2 teams here, wow, you've got different styles in this match on a lot of levels. Kota Ibushi's hard-hitting style, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega being 2 of the best, arguably the 2 best wrestlers in the world. Sammy Guevara's high-flying style, Takeshita's, mixture of hard-hitting and ground sort of and pound style. Jericho, with his mixture of styles, I guess you could say, because he can wrestle any kind of bloody way.
The only thing he doesn't do much anymore is the high-flying stuff.
The only thing he kind of does, he doesn't do it all the time, is he still does the line salt, which I'm surprised at his age, and because he's obviously a lot bulkier, than he used to be. I'm surprised he actually still can pull that off, but he does, and it still looks really good.
He still did the last few times we've seen him do it. He's done it well. I mean, And
Yeah,
it's been impressive to watch him do it. It's
I
like,
know.
wow, he really. It's
I'm
like, holy crap!
dang, you know. But I'm glad he doesn't do it all the time, and that's probably very beneficial to him and his back, because it wouldn't be easy on his
Yeah.
back doing that. But then we got the 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT Championship. Christian Cage defending against Darby. I hope to Christ Darby beats him. I mean, look, I was happy to see Christian actually win the belt instead of carrying the belt around when he didn't actually win it. But he actually won the belt a few days back, and in a triple threat match. And but I think it's time for Darby to have a belt again. He's lost a couple of times already to Christian and Luchasaurus. So I think it's time to give Darby a win, back in the win column. So we'll see how that goes. It should be a decent enough match, though. Another interesting match I'm looking forward to, because it is going to be probably the hardest hitting match on this card, is the Ring of Honor World Championship and the Strong Openweight Championship. They're both on the line. Eddie Kingston, which I was so happy for him, man. As a fellow New York, he finally beat Claudio in New York and become the world champion for Ring of Honor. I see him winning this, but man, is it going to be... those chops are... Whew, these two guys are just going to beat the crap out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
The women's match for the AEW TBS Championship. Well, I don't know how this is really going to go. Statlander defending against Julia Hart. It's been it's been another odd build for this match, and I'm all for women's wrestling, but I think because of the way that they haven't really built this really well, I'm not that interested in this match. So
it was almost like we need a women's match.
Yeah. That's another thing I think needs to change. I think, you've got some talented women wrestlers there. You need to showcase them more. Having one match is... You got enough talent there to have two. So that's something else, and I know that's been a lot of critics, a lot of fans critical of Tony, is he needs to do more with the women to showcase them more. Pyro goes, need Brothers of Destruction B-roll footage, the Attitude Era at its finest. Yeah, right. And of course, the last match of the card will be a 4-way tag team match for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship. So you'll have the Young Bucks against the Guns, against the Lucha Brothers, against the interesting team of Orange Cassidy and Taz's son Hook.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
I don't think Orange is going to win this one. I don't think.
no, but with these teams, this is going to be probably one of the best 4-way tag team match of the year. Like all these teams, again, like excluding probably Orange Cassidy and Hook, the Lucha Brothers, the Guns, and the Young Bucks just high flying. Right. The spots that is going to happen in this match is going to be insane. So once again, we're critical on AEW and a lot of things, but once again, excluding probably the women's match, top to bottom, they've got a pretty stellar card here. They always seem to have a decent card when you're going down the list of their matchups on a card, and I don't think this is going to disappoint. I mean, granted, you've got technically three tag team matches on the card. No, four actually with the 6-man. So 4. This is what I'm saying. They're brilliant at tag team wrestling.
I'll tell you what, though, that means that their wrestlers are never slack for wrestling, because these guys are working their ass off.
Yeah, so no, it's just obviously because they're not wanting to pull double duty again. The only one that's interesting, but I suppose he deserves a break from defending it, is Max not having to defend his title. But I don't think at the moment, probably the reason for that is there's not really anybody there that they've sort of pushed to be his next contender, really.
Right.
Maybe it's going to be Roddy Strong. Roddy Strong probably won't go over him though, but maybe they've sort of teased that. I don't know if Adam Cole's going to get another shot. He's had, 2 or 3 shots, so I don't know what'll happen there. The only other thing I could possibly see out of this is maybe the winner of Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. Maybe the winner of that is next in line. Who knows? That could be something. Other than that, and you know what? Where in the world is bloody Wardlow? What the hell happened to him? Like,
yeah, we haven't heard from him in a few weeks, haven't we? Yeah.
oh no, it's been more than that. It's like months, bro. Months.
Has it been months? I thought I saw his name come up on something.
No.
not
Remember,
long ago,
okay, put it this way. It's definitely been months because he's been out, and I know he's not injured. As far as I'm aware, he's not injured. Since he had that second round feud, because they feuded once before, but they had that feud again with Hobbs, and Hobbs beat him. Then he beat Hobbs, and then they had Christian Luchasaurus take the belt off of him. Since then, he's not been seen or heard of. And remember, if you remember, a couple months ago, we were talking about, because the rumours were there, even though he hadn't been on TV, that they were going to do something at All In with him and Goldberg, which obviously never came to fruition.
Right.
I don't know what the freaking hell they're doing with him, because he was an awesome up-and-coming talent, awesome big man that could do some cruiserweight-style stuff in the ring, and you've got him sitting doing nothing. At the same time, they're not really talking on Hobbs. They're not really doing much with him either. So I don't know what's going on with those two big guys, but I'd be interjecting them back into stuff as soon as I could, because otherwise fans are just going to, I wouldn't say completely forget about them, but just, you're going to have to basically build these two guys right back up again from scratch, basically, once you reintroduce them. So I don't know what he's doing there, but that's the card for WrestleDream. And then, of course, I'm quite sure NXT this week's going to add more matches to this card, because we only got 4 matches for the No Mercy pay-per-view so far. I believe there'll at least be another 2 matches added to this, because one match has to be Dominic.
Real quick, I want to say the last match Wardlow had was in June.
There you go. So yeah, it has been a few months then.
Yep.
So whether or not Dominic has his match on here, as I said, I think maybe once again, because they've already screwed him out of it once before, that they do something tonight on Raw and Dragon Lee gets screwed, and so then on NXT they say, look, he got screwed. This time we're having a match at the pay-per-view, and guess what, Dom? The rest of Judgment Day is completely, utterly banned from the arena, and then Dragon Lee defeats him. Because I think Dragon Lee is probably the only logical choice here.
Well, I think because of the breaking in the story with them firing Mustafa, or getting rid of Mustafa, I wouldn't be surprised if they let Dom hang on to it a little bit longer so they can build up another storyline.
True. Pyro said he's off with Carmen Sandiego. With Wardlow's off with Carmen Sandiego. But no, look, I think that's a possibility too. But I think they've got to. I think they've got to push Dragon Lee. You didn't hire this great talent, this superstar of Mexico, to have him lose as much as you've had him lose. I don't think they've really done well since signing him. And look, you could deal with him getting screwed again on Raw tonight out of the championship, but I think you give him a shot then, as I said, put that stipulation there. That's the matchup, because they've got to have at least another 2 matches on. They can't just run with 4, because I don't think that's enough to carry a 3-hour card.
Right.
Otherwise, like, Becky and Tiffany will have to wrestle in a 1-hour Extreme Rules match for example. which I don't know if they. I mean, they might. I mean, they're both fit. They could probably do it, but and I could easily see Carmelo and Ilya wrestling an hour. But so there's maybe 2 hours take, I suppose. But then you've only got 2 other matches, and we definitely know Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin won't be long. That'll probably be about 15 minutes at most. And looking at the card of these 4 matches, it's a match that I'm just like not interested. Then you got Noam Dar, who will defend his Heritage Cup against either Butch or Joe Coffey, which is yet to be determined. I will say that it'll probably likely be Butch because Noam's obviously a heel with his faction. So is Joe Coffey. Butch is a babyface, obviously with the Brawling Brute, so kind of makes sense to have the babyface and heel go against each other. If it's Butch and Noam Dar, that should be a really interesting match because those 2 guys can really go in the ring. They wrestle that British style really well, obviously, because they're both from over there. So that'll be a fantastic way to kick the pay-per-view off. And I don't know where it'll be on the card, but the Carmelo Hayes, who I still think will win his match, and Ilya Dragunov match, that is going to possibly be the match of the night. At the moment, at this stage, that has the potential to be a match of the night. That's going to be insane. And Ilya Dragunov, I just love his style, man. He is so hard hitting, and I think it just sort of complements Carmelo's high flying really well. The storyline build up for this match has just been phenomenal, especially with Trick sort of on the outside, because he's not exactly, he's trying to break out now as his own person, own man. And then, of course, the main event, as far as I'm aware, it's the main event, the Extreme Rules match between Becky and Tiffany. I expect Becky to retain, just purely for 2 reasons. She only just won it. And it was the only title in all of WWE that she was yet to win, that she's able to actually, wrestle for and win.
Right.
Which made her a Grand Slam champion. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Tiffany Stratton's I like her. I think she's got a lot of potential. But I don't think this run with the belt was going the way I think Shawn Michaels and a few others backstage in NXT thought it was going to go. The title reign kind of felt a bit flat. I think she still needs time to cook, so to speak, Tiffany. I think she's got a great in-ring style. I still think she needs, more work on her mic skills and how to deliver a promo. But... Yeah, I mean, this will still be good to being in a ring with a vet like Becky, I think is going to do her wonders, and keep, sort of helping her on her journey. Even in a loss, if the match is a great match, it's going to benefit her regardless, and just keep her on her upward trajectory. But I just think, I said when she won it, that as much as I like her and I think that she's going to be a big time player in the women's division for years to come, I just think it was a bit too soon to put the belt on her, and I think that's been proven with her title run. I think it was kind of fell into their laps when she did the tweet about Becky, and then Becky answered back, well, I haven't actually won it, that's the one title women's title I haven't won. It worked out well for them because, hey, here's big time Bex. This is going to make sense for her to go over. This is our way to get the belt off of Tiffany right now. I believe she's she's got women's world championship material in her, but I just think it's was a little bit too soon because she's still a little bit green in some areas. But again, she's coming along nicely. So. It's not much of a card here at the moment to speak of, brother, but, what are you looking forward to most? And are you, liking at least 3 out of these 4 matches?
I mean, they should be good matches, but I can't say I'm hyped for any of them. I mean,
No,
it's going to be,
no.
like you said, between this and the fact that we have nothing on the pay-per-view that's supposed to take place the following week, what are they doing over there? I'm
Yeah,
really not
No
sure.
Mercy and Fastlane seem like they're going to be forgettable
It's like,
pay-per-views.
right, yeah, and unless they're really pulling a rabbit out of their hat in the next few days here.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah, I really,
at least that basically, because NXT usually only has 6 or 7 matches, so they only got to add 2 more matches realistically here. That could change how this pay-per-view is viewed. But right now, nothing's sort of jumping out. As I said, like, yeah, I'm interested to see Carmella and Ilya. I think that'll be probably match of the night. I think Becky and Tiffany will be a close second. But the other 2 matches,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
right now it's going to be about an hour and a half pay-per-view. I'm serious.
Yeah. I think they're going to struggle. That's why I said, I think I'm pretty confident that Dom and Dragon Lee will be on that. Will be on there. Irregardless of how the match plays out on Raw, right? I think if Dragon Lee gets screwed over again, then they find a way on NXT to go, right, you know, he's going to go complain, and they'll go, right, we're going to give you a match at the pay-per-view, and the stipulation is the rest of Judgment Day's banned. If Dragon Lee beats him on Raw, then obviously, as we know, with anybody that's held a belt when they lose, they get the automatic rematch 9 times out of 10 at least. So they could still do a match there where Dom would be, you know, having a rematch. But I think that'll be the 5th match that's added. As for what the 6th match would be, I couldn't tell you. Because right now, I mean, you kind of said it best. WWE has kind of dropped the ball with this pay-per-view, and even worse with Fastlane.
Yeah. And I will say that over the last week, and I haven't, you know, this is Monday, so I don't know, but last week there was a lot of cross promotion especially between Raw and NXT.
Yeah.
In fact, I think there was an NXT title belt match on Raw last week.
Yes, yeah. You know.
So I don't know that they know. I think they're kind of mixing and matching their brands at this point, which is fine. Which will give them a little opening for what they can do for another match at this weekend's pay-per-view, and next week's Fastlane, which is about to be a single lane highway. I think it's going to be one really long match.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, like, at the moment, for example, what do we got here? Oh, okay, sorry. So we got. I thought it was just one. It was one probably until tonight. 2 matches so far, just for Fastlane. 2 matches. Which obviously is Seth and Shinsuke going at it again in the last man standing match. That's one. And the other match is a handicap match. Jimmy and Solo taking on John Cena.
Oh, yeah, forgot. No, they set that up on Friday.
On SmackDown, yeah. So we got 2 matches. Now, those 2 matches right there.
Those on paper, those should be pretty good, actually.
Well, I'm looking forward to those 2 matches over the 4 matches that currently stand for the NXT pay-per-view.
Me too. Yeah. That Sensei that match should be wild.
The last man standing match? Yeah.
With those 2, holy crap.
I'll be interested to see too which outcome they go with the handicap match, because I mean, obviously most people be going, oh, you know, John's only part-time, but now he's only back for a little bit, you know, he'll, especially now that the writer's strike is over.
Yeah.
So he'll probably put him over, but
I believe he's back for 6 weeks, and that'll be week 3, I think.
I personally, though, because he had, you know, when they brought him back a couple other times before, what was the last time it was against Austin 2, they had him lose. I'd actually like to see him win in this handicap match, but have Jimmy and Solo just beat the crap out of him afterward, you know, to keep them looking strong and stuff like that. But I would like to see, but I don't think it's going to go there. I think, I'd only like to see that just because it'd be against the odds. Most times you see a handicap.
I could also see the Rock making another surprise appearance during that.
Yeah, to help him out, yeah. So, I mean, it could go either way.
Did you watch that the other night, the pop that the Rock got?
Oh, Denver? Man, oh, yeah. And then he was getting this side, you are, and then the other side, an asshole.
Yeah.
Hang on.
But
We're
man.
Check it now. This side's going to get a chance to say you are. This side's going to say, man, like, they weren't up. And, like, when he got backstage, I don't think he was, I mean, I know he was just doing it story, but I don't think he was wrong in what he said, what he quoted. He goes, Denver could have gone for another 2 hours chanting and going wild.
And I think just when he initially came out, I mean, just the pop was wild.
Because no one expected it. It was a surprise.
No, and I think, because I follow him on Twitter, you probably do too.
Yeah. He
truly appreciated that response because that was all natural.
Yes.
Because
he's been not in the WWE.
Right.
I think they said it was 4 years since his last appearance.
Yeah.
But it was also unexpected. I don't think it was planned until the last minute. He was actually in Colorado because he was checking out or doing something with the Colorado University football team, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so he was there in town for that, and I guess he thought, well, my old home is also in town. Yep. I'll give Trips a ring, and and like Triple H and Vince have both told him, anytime he feels like he wants to pop, he is more than welcome to. So,
yep.
But it actually has been reported. It was totally unplanned.
Yeah,
it was totally unplanned.
And I thought it was totally cool when what's his name, who he went in the ring with, was tried to when Rock started talking. Nobody cares what the Rock is thinking, and you could just see. On the Rock's face, he started to lose it. He started to break character.
Oh yeah, he was trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Like,
he really was.
And then he's like, no, it does matter what the Rock says.
Yeah. But if you watch it, you can tell he tried to not smile.
You know what?
That
whole segment was freaking brilliant for Austin Theory. Because up until that point, I found Austin Theory a very vanilla guy. Had a great look and can wrestle in the ring. But other than that, I thought he was very vanilla. That was the first time ever I've seen that boy show charisma, man. Like, he was in the ring with The Rock, and we know how the charisma just oozes from The Rock. Austin did really well.
And he was holding his own, man. He was holding his own.
I even like these little comments. He's like, The Rock and Austin in the ring again. and I'm sitting back going, wrong Austin, dude.
And I honestly think a lot of it was ad-libbed because that's why The Rock started to break character.
Yeah.
It's
I was like, damn, where the hell has this been, Mr. Theory? Now, that whole segment, if he continues showing that kind of charisma, he ain't going to come across as so vanilla. I was just like, now that's the charisma I've been looking for. So I was so glad that he, because he is still a young guy, had that segment with The Rock. I thought when he had his little feud and thing with John Cena, it was going to bring it out of him, but it just didn't. For whatever reason, it just didn't. And, John is good at getting people to come out of their shell, but it just didn't happen.
Right.
But The Rock, oh, man, he brought it out of Austin Theory and then some.
That I could go back and watch that whole bit over again.
Oh, man.
The whole thing from top to bottom was...
Yeah, I honestly think
in about 3 seconds, I'm going to kick your candy ass all over the ring.
It showed a side of Austin that none of us had seen, and I think it was good. I think it was really good. And I just hope now it continues and he continues to build off that because, as I said, regardless of how that segment ended with him on his back after Rock and McAfee delivered the people's elbows, I think that whole segment...
by the way, McAfee should never do the people's elbow again.
No, that was horrible. Don't get me wrong, the whole bouncing off the ropes looked good, but the last part of it was just like, what the hell? But no, that whole segment did wonders for Austin Theory, especially for someone like me that wasn't sold on him, and now I'm viewing him in a different light. As long as that charisma keeps up. I think now I've changed my opinion on him, and I could eventually see him entering as a main eventer in the world title scene at some point. Because before that segment, I just couldn't see it. I could see him middling around in the mid card. I just thought he was too vanilla to get over as a main eventer. But after that segment,
now of their regular roster though, who could you see? Does it looks like he needs to have somebody with a strong personality in the ring with him to go up against? You know, who could also get it out of him like The Rock did? LA Knight. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, LA would work.
LA Knight could get it out of him. Who else? Maybe Seth.
You know, you're going to say I'm pandering, but I think Cody might get it out of him too.
Cody could probably, yeah.
If they could set up the storyline correctly, I think they could.
Seth Rollins definitely could.
Seth Rollins definitely could.
I think Jey Uso definitely could, because Jey Uso's another one like his cousin The Rock. He just oozes charisma naturally.
Right.
So there's a few guys that we just listed there that could really be beneficial with feuds with Austin Theory. Because as I said, that was going around for quite a while that Vince and a few others backstage viewed him as the next John Cena, like the next face after Roman Reigns is done or goes to part-time, that they were going to look at. I didn't see it.
I think he needs to be a heel for sure at this point.
Can we have lunch?
Because to drive that energy, he needs to be a heel.
Yes. So no, I think now I can possibly see him as being one of the top players in the company for years to come. I just couldn't see it beforehand because I kept going. There's an ingredient missing here with him. Like as I said, he had the look. He was great in the ring, but there was just something freaking missing. And I was like, no, he's just too freaking vanilla.
Though I would probably move him to Monday night. Monday night has a stronger roster.
Yeah, I think that could be beneficial for the guy.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested.
But I've been saying that since they did the switch. That Monday night has a stronger male roster. Friday night is their female roster.
Stronger female roster, yeah. And oh god, did you hear the reaction when Charlotte came out like on SmackDown? Everyone's like, oh no, like no. I'm like, good god,
Yep.
So what are you going to do? But no, I'm interested to see how they fill out Fastlane, because you can't go into Fastlane with just 2 matches.
Yeah.
two pretty decent matches you got there, but yeah, you need.
They're gonna do marathon matches. They're gonna go for an hour and a half each.
Yeah. Well, I do believe.
Or there's gonna be a lot of backstage chatter during that pay-per-view.
I do believe Cody will end up having a match on there. That's probably kind of evident. I just don't know against who at this point, but if the house shows,
I would not be surprised, because I'm gonna kind of give away something you haven't seen tonight. They had Cody out there again, and of course Judgment Day came out there, and Cody ended up out there with KO and his partner and
Sammy,
and Uso was out there with them. So you had the 4 of them versus the 3 Judgment Day, plus the other guy who's been trying to get into Judgment Day that I can never remember his name.
Finn's best friend,
yeah.
I'm spacing on his damn name too.
So he came out as well. So you had 4-on-4 going. Come on.
Obviously, you're gonna have them in some sort of match or matches. I think,
kind of 4-way tag or something.
I think you will find Rhea will probably defend against Nia Jax at that pay-per-view too. That's where it's leading.
If she's healthy, because
Well, did you see? Which, I mean, while she's off, and I think she's back down here at the moment, she's probably over in Perth with the New Day.
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia. I never thought that they would do a premium pay-per-view. They come down here and do the big house shows and stuff as such, but...
Yeah. I knew they weren't going to move, when they had him go Aussie and all that crap, they weren't going to move the big show to Australia.
No, well, Elimination Chamber, like... It's going to be on for you at like 4 a.m. in the fucking morning or something like that, they reckon, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
which they're not too concerned because they said, because it's on Peacock, people will just catch the replay. But I hope it goes.
Which I
on.
actually try to watch them live. With shows like that, I prefer to watch them live.
Well,
I
it would be
often
better
go
if
back
it
to the
had
replay,
been
but-
over here on the East Coast, because at least then it may have
Yeah.
been on at a little bit better time, like maybe at 7 or 8 a.m. in the freaking morning for you.
Right.
But because it's in Western Australia, which are like 2-3 hours even behind the East Coast,
Right.
that's going to make it early again, bro.
So it's going to be 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. I will probably stay up and watch it, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, there will be people, there'll be dedicated people that will. And I hope they have a really good turnout for it, because the turnout that they get there will hinge on whether they bring another premium live event,
Right.
But that's a fairly big stadium. The the Optus Stadium. I think it's
What month is that?
February, I believe. Should be.
Oh, so it's right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, it is the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Yeah. So I think they'll sell it out. They should sell it out quite easy. I think it's either a 70 or 80,000 seat arena, and that's without WWE adding chairs, of course, around ringside, so they could fit a bit more in there. It's already got 70 to 80,000 seats as is, so and that's because it's a Aussie rules football ground, so they'll put more chairs actually out on the ground, because the ring's not going to take up the whole freaking ground.
Right.
So they might end up doing a fairly big number. But
we've learned over the last few weeks you can't trust their numbers. They inflate their numbers.
No, I know. So does AEW. They got caught out lying too. Tony Khan sitting there, oh, we had this, and then it was a British thing that said, well, this was actually the ticket sold through the gate.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Tony, you got egg on your face there, bro.
Yeah, the turnstile numbers. Yeah, the turnstile numbers, which then they're going, well, nobody uses those. But yeah, because you can inflate ticket sales, by buying your own tickets, which some promotions do, not necessarily wrestling, but concert promoters do that. It's sold out. Yeah, well, you bought back 5,000 of the tickets. So it's not really sold out. You handed out a lot of tickets. Whatever. But yeah.
Exactly. So they that'll be interesting in itself. Obviously, Rhea and Grayson Waller are going to enjoy that homecoming. And they'll probably.
Oh God, there's gonna be no shutting up Waller.
No, I know, but look, they'll be prominently on that pay-per-view for sure and for certain. Both of them, obviously being the local talent. It was funny. It was really funny. Going back to the cuts temporary, Emma, because Emma is Australian as well. She was she was promoting the pay-per-view. And then she got cut, and I'm like, oh, you poor bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you poor bugger. Like, but no, that's all right. I mean, as I said, they got those two. They have got another Australian on the roster, but I don't know what they're doing with him. He's in NXT. It's that Zion Quinn. I don't know what the heck happened to him, because he was a big part of NXT, and then he completely dropped off the face of the earth. I don't exactly know why or what happened. I don't know if he got injured. Maybe he got injured, because I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
the only
him
one we
for-
know that got suspended is Jungle Boy Jack Perry, but on AEW.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Well, what's interesting is since Vince is no longer in control, it seems like a lot of the leaks are no longer happening as much.
No.
A lot of the background stuff.
So I mean that's
Which I actually like. I actually prefer that. I don't always want to know everything that's going to happen.
No. At least it's been fixed up in the wrestling industry, because Xbox is Microsoft's definitely got to fix their leaks.
Yeah.
That was like that. Those leaks last week with
Oops.
that brother was
Yeah.
like watching the Titanic scene.
Well,
I mean,
and that just got the console warriors talking stupid shit. It's like no, stop it. Yeah.
But Yeah, no, I think that was interesting. I mean, obviously, it's not that they're not too concerned. I don't think it'll do too much damage, but knowing that it came from someone in their company somewhere along
Well,
the line.
it was an accidental thing. It wasn't never meant to go outside.
I
but
know.
it
It
did,
was a big
so,
oopsie. It's like, oh, damn, we shouldn't have
Yeah.
sent that.
Yeah.
You know, people.
But-
you ever
but
send,
it is
send a
what it
message
is,
and
you
then you
know.
look back and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't mean to send that to that person. Damn.
It gave the console warrior something to talk about. You know.
It did, you know. But, look.
But
we
like
got-
I said, all the companies have had all those same discussions.
Yeah.
Every single one of them have all those same discussions and all those same emails.
Look, right now, out of the two pay-per-view NXTs and AEWs, I think AEW right now for this weekend has the more
Yeah.
watchable, better pay-per-view. I mean, I'm going to watch both
Yeah.
of them, but I just think that AEW's is going to be better.
Yeah, I think NXT so far, like I said, those are going to be good matches, but there's nothing really drawing me to it outside
No.
that they're probably going to be good matches.
No, the only one that's going to be a bit of a bore is the Bron Breakker, Baron Corbin. I don't think that's going to be that great at all.
Yeah.
You just got two big boys in there.
Well, it's like tonight they had the two fat boys going at it, and it's like,
Yeah.
and you know, one of them I don't like at all, and neither do you, because he's boring as whole hell.
Oh, bloody. Yeah, the one who he just
The
moves
one who's
that
slow,
way. Yeah,
who
slow.
does all this shit in slow motion.
Yeah, yeah. The real
Bronson
big-
Reed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, there you go. There's another. That's right. He comes from Adelaide, so he's another Australian in the cup too. Even though he's actually Islander, that's kind of easy to tell by looking at him. But he is from Adelaide, so he'll probably be looking forward to the pay per view. But a good guy. I mean, I hope if they have him on that elimination pay per view, I hope they have him in like one of the dark matches or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're going to put you on the card, you know, just because it's the pay-per-view there, but you're not on the main card, you're on the pre-show, you know. Yeah, we're so lovely here on the Pop-Up Powerbomb.
Yeah.
But no, look, we've got two pay-per-views this weekend, one that's probably going to stand out more than the other. Hopefully the other at least gets one or two more matches added. As I said, I think Dom will be on there defending his title. That's just an opinion, but
I think they have to. I think they're kind of
Yeah.
setting it up for that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like we said at the top, it looks like they're making Judgment Day the front and center of the
Which is good.
storylines right
Which
now.
is good. I mean, the Bloodline storyline needed to be put back on the back burner, considering how long still that they want to drag it out before Roman drops the belt. So they kind of had no choice with that. It gives the Usos, since splitting them, time to shine and build their singles careers. You know,
And I honestly can't see that as by design. I still think there's something going on that Roman's holding out or something. I cannot see this as by design that
if
he's
the
disappearing
writers'
for 2.5
strike had
months.
ended sooner, I would be like, okay, maybe he's away because he's finally, got cast in something. Because I know he's looking to follow
Right.
his cousin into Hollywood and that. But it only just ended, so he hasn't been away. Yeah, he hasn't
today.
been away. Yeah, he hasn't been away in Hollywood. So I don't know what the hell he's been doing at home, twiddling his thumbs, obviously. But I mean, granted, I'd love to be in. I think most of us would love to be in his position, sitting at home, getting the paycheck that he's getting. But at the same time, from a fan perspective, you need to show.
Well,
your
not
face
only
on the
that,
TV.
from depending on why he's doing it, from a fan perspective, even from a writer perspective, I mean, even from Paul Heyman's perspective, because
well, it kind
he's
of
having to,
leaves even Paul not really doing. Like, this is the first time in a
Right.
long time that Paul's kind of like right in the background with Jimmy and Solo.
yeah.
Like, he's not
Yeah.
even really a prominent thing. Like, he has these little couple of lines that he says, but he's not as prominent
Yeah.
as when Roman's around. Like when
He's
Roman's
almost
around,
like an extra because he's showing up. He's doing his 2 lines, and he's done for the night.
Yeah, he's a complete afterthought because when Roman's around, Roman makes it clear, oh, this is my, advisor, this is my this is my guy. This is the wise man, and so he's right
Yeah.
there and he's prominent, and he even does the whole intro for him kind of thing, like he does.
Right.
He's done in the past with Brock. Now he's kind of just floating around, kind of looking a bit silly, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, there's no direction here. What are we doing? And look, maybe another reason is they thought Roman needed a bit of a break. I mean, he had been going fairly non-stop for the last 3 years, until probably the last few months.
Well, no, until the entirety of this year, he's wrestled about once a month.
Yeah.
So basically, he's had his. To me, he's had his break. Okay,
Yeah,
when
that's
you
true.
all of a sudden you go from 22 matches to 9 in a 10-month
that's
period.
a big drop. Yeah,
Like,
that's a big drop.
Yeah,
That's a.
and they weren't all title matches. Remember, because there was a tag team. There was a couple of tag team issues. So
yeah.
he hasn't even been putting the title up. So that's why I'm saying they're really trying to drag out this whole title thing.
Well, we said this too, man. We said this, that they were gonna struggle to keep this. Maybe this is the only way that they can drag this out, because honestly, they were struggling. It was getting to a point where that bloodline storyline was. I mean, of course, it's going to hit that wall after 3 years of being, prominent, the best storyline in wrestling. You're going to get a point where you're going to start running out of ideas. This is why I kind of
you and I had better ideas when they did the tribal challenge the tribal challenge thing, and he basically cheated and got help to win.
Yep.
They could have gone the whole other route. Said, you did not earn this correctly. This isn't worthy of the chief. Yeah, there's so much they could have done.
I've got to say now, before we head on out of here, that look, they need to have him drop that title, at WrestleMania. They do, because you ain't gonna get this dragged out any further. And if he hasn't, and I'll put this out there, if he hasn't beat Hogan's record by WrestleMania, then oh well, you're not. Fans are gonna. I mean, I think they're already there. That title that he's holding now is complete nothing.
Yeah,
Seth's
because I'm not,
more
like
meaning.
I said, I'm not the only one who's noticing that he hasn't been around.
No, Seth's title has overtaken it as, more prestigious, and and Seth's nearly out there. Well, I wouldn't say defending it every week, but fighting every damn week.
So is Dominic. Dominic's doing the same thing with his. Every damn week he's out there. Sometimes twice a week.
Yep.
Sometimes twice a week.
So look, I think the sooner the better. Like, I know that they had plans for him to beat Hogan's record, but at this point, maybe the rumours out there they need to go with have Cody beat him at Royal Rumble, and Cody walk into WrestleMania as a champ, because I just don't know. You need to make that title mean something again, be prestigious and be defended. Like, I don't think at this stage, I just can't envision them. They're going to try to do it, but I just don't know how they're going to keep that belt on him till WrestleMania, because we're still a ways out from WrestleMania, and fans are probably at that point where they're like, you know what, we're now invested in these singles storylines with Jay and Jimmy. Roman's now an afterthought, like get the belt.
Part of it is they haven't made this extended absence part of the storyline. They've given us no reason.
No, not at all.
Except we know he's going to be back in at the end of November. That's going to be a 3-month period with no Roman, no shows, no wrestling. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Exactly, brother. But that's all we got for you this week, folks. Before we get to the outros, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. Hope you enjoyed some old school No Mercy on the screen as well. I want to thank the Rockin' One, my girl Trin. Always very, very supportive of everything you do behind the scenes. Love, always appreciated. Of course, shout out to PK, my brother from another, and of course Carlo with what he does behind the scenes as well. Back from the dead, Pyro, always great to see you, brothers. Mr. Peace, Love, Life, Dragonheart, Yobi, the one and only. Always good to talk wrestling with you too, bro. Timmer, of course, the man with the mythical beard, Dreadpool. Great to see you two in here as well. We appreciate all the support. And of course, any lurkers that was lurking about, we appreciate all you as well. So thank you for joining us. But Paul, do you want to let the fine folks absolutely everywhere they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter, X, at CerebralPaul1. You can find me on Twitch at CerebralPaul. You can find me on, let's see, where else can you find me? Oh, anyway, you can find me on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays right here on 4GQ TV for various sundry shows. Not always Wednesday. I kind of get shuffled in and out. So sometimes Wednesday, sometimes not. Tuesday, you can find me on the Xbox Ambassador channel on Gaming Differently with Cerebral Paul. This week, tomorrow, I will be breaking into the new DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. We're going to check that out. Also going to go over some of the changes of patch 2.0, which made the game a totally different game. Awesome. It was always awesome, but now it's really awesome. And then on Tuesday nights, Retro Renegades, and on Fridays, Wasted with Wise.
Wasted with Wise. Love it.
Yep.
No, I'm definitely going to be checking out this new DLC, and I'm just going to start anew with Cyberpunk because, especially on this beast of the PC, they've added that DLSS 3.5 too, and a bunch of other stuff. I was watching Gaming Jesus, as I like to refer to him on Gamers Nexus. Shout out to those boys. Showed the side by side of DLSS and super sampling and other little trinkets on and off. Showed the differences night and day, and that game with all the updates that's come to in that 2.0 free update. That game looks... I didn't think it was possible for it to look more amazing, but it looks more amazing. And I think that game is finally at where the developers, CD Projekt Red, shout out to them also, for putting in the huge, insurmountable work that they have over time. Hats off to them. They finally got that game, I believe, to where they're satisfied. Probably the game we all should have got from the beginning. And, look, I myself, I'm like you, Paul. I enjoyed it. I played it through 3 times. And I didn't have too many issues myself, per se. That was when I was playing on the Series X with it. And I thought it was a great game then. But, now I think you're getting basically, I guess you could say, the ultimate edition of it. So, everybody jump into that and enjoy that as well as Phantom Liberty. It's a whole new game, like CD Projekt Red said. They said that's why they said once that update had come out and the DLC, everybody should create a new character, start again, and to experience it as they want you to experience it, and you'll get the most out of it. Put it that way, instead of doing a continued save. That looks interesting. We've also got, before I get into my outro, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think that comes out next week. So look out for that. I think Forza's the week after that.
Forza's on the 10th, I believe.
Assassin's Creed's next week, Forza's the week following that. So there's another 1-2 punch there. Some 2 great games to look forward to, and I believe Alan Wake
if you have no games to play, you're dead. Okay.
If you've got no games to play, there's something wrong with you. Between those 2 and Alan Wake at the end of the month, and of course already out Starfield and Mortal Kombat 1, like, come on now. Yeah. And people are still going on with Baldur's Gate 3, enjoying that as well. So, you've got plenty there. But you can find me at SpeakyTBG on the app formerly known as Twitter, the Elon Musk app, as I like to call it now, because God knows how long he'll keep X. He might change it in another couple of months. And, of course, you could find me on the PC as well, playing a variety of games. And every Monday evening with the Pop-Up Powerbomb right here on the 4GQ TV channel. And every Wednesday evening with the Backlog Bastards. And we will be back this coming Wednesday. I'm quite sure there'll be a fair bit of topics to get through. I know last week we covered the leaks. this week I think we're back to just talking about the games and upcoming games, as well as we might even touch on Intel's new CPUs and processors that are just about to hit the market too, just to cover that for a bit of the PC.
And for all intents and purposes, the deal is done.
Oh yes, and we will be talking about that. Yes, the deal is near on official.
Yep.
We're not far off. Thank the
Though Xbox has officially welcomed them to the family.
Yes, they have. Thank the Lord. It's about time. Now, I just feel sorry for anybody that was living off of that topic because I don't know what they're going to talk about now. But I know we'll be fine, but there's a bunch of people I know that pretty much only was covering that, and they're going to run out of stuff to talk about now. But no,
they'll still complain. They'll complain about it for a few more months anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, the fanboys will complain about it.
Yeah.
That's how they'll continue. They're going to do a WWE and try and find anything to stretch it
out. That's right. That's it. Yeah.
But no, thank you again, everybody. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you may be in this fine world. But until next time, we will see you all later.
Is it me or do you share